Hey there, I'm back. The reason I haven't uploaded in a while is because I just had the holidays and I had absolutely no ideas on what to make videos on because we've kind of entered a massive just dead phase in Genshin Impact as what happens at the end of every single update for like the last 2 or 3 weeks. The final day of the Raiden Shogun grind is coming soon, probably on Monday or Tuesday. The reason it hasn't come out yet is because it is taking way too long for me to get materials from La Senora to get her to 8-10-10, which is what I'm doing. Anyway, this video is... I want to make a video on 2.2. I want to start doing stuff like this, so let's just fucking do it. We got a child rerun followed by Hu Tao rerun with a new character Toma as a 4-star on the banner. I am definitely going to be pulling for child. Now I know that may sound surprising to some people because I feel like most people are thinking, who the fuck asked for another child rerun? And you'd be right in saying that almost no one did, but I did, and I got my wish. I will be wishing for child. I will be praying that I get him, and if I lose to 50-50, I'm praying that I get Jean. Anyway, the Hu Tao run, everyone's going to be wishing on this banner because you got the new character Toma. He seems to be a combination of Xin Yan and Xing Cho because he's a shield support. He's also got off-field pyro support. His E and his burst, actually his E looks exactly like Xing Cho's E, but it's just pyro, so I'm expecting him to be a pyro Xing Cho. So he's either going to be like mediocre or good. I'm not expecting Toma to be bad. So yeah, there's your banners. If you're looking for characters that are good, you should probably wish on the you should probably say for the Hu Tao banner. But in the end, just wish for who you want. Alright, the weapons. Not much to say about these. We don't know their stats yet. Actually, I think they're all going to be attack percent. This is probably going to be run with child. All of the new weapons actually look really good, I think. I think these all look quite nice. But no one really gives a shit about the new 5-star bow because no one's going to fucking wish for it. The new enemies. Yeah, we'll talk about you fuckers later. Okay, so let's talk about the events. So we got the first 2 events are just combat events. They seem to be pretty good for combat events, in my opinion. There's a little guy that'll help us. This little guy right here. He'll be helping us in the event, so I hope we can keep him. That'd be pretty worth it. That'd be a pretty good reward. But otherwise, it just seems like another combat event. So does this, to be honest. Like, they both look like they offer quite a bit of content, but they probably only offer like 10 minutes of content every time the event is updated. But I guess we'll see. This event, however, the third one, is probably going to be the best. And that is because it is not a combat event. It is a minigame event where they're bringing back the rhythm game, which actually has me really hyped because I'm a Friday night funkin' enjoyer. This minigame was actually quite fun back when it was first introduced. And the reason it is so much better than a combat event is because for people like me who are in the end game, we have teams where we can press a button and everything dies. And that fact makes it so that combat events just aren't entertaining for us anymore because they're too easy. Which is why we like minigame events, because you don't do combat. You don't need to do big numbers to be good at it. It's like a completely different realm of skill. Anyway, 4th and final event, to be completely honest, I have no fucking idea. This event to me seems like it's going to be painfully mediocre and is going to offer 5 minutes of content a day at most. Because all it seems to be doing is, from this clip that they've given us, you get some random plant, you give it to the lady, she gives you some seeds, you chuck them in the teapot, that's it. For the next 3 days, you wait. Then you come back, you get your flowers, you put them on display, and then we get the furnishing, or something like that. The furnishing should be pretty cool, but I know a lot of people who just don't care about the teapot at all, so this event's probably not going to be too fun. Moving on to the first Inazuma dairies for 2.2. It seems that Surumi Island's just going to be really fucking foggy and fucking impossible to see in, so that's going to be so fun. You're going to need Electro to light these lamps to get the fog away. Specific paths get you to specific places. Remarkable chests, new kind of chest, it gives you furnishing, that's all you need to know. Kinda cool, no one really cares. The new fungus, this is definitely going to be the ascension material for Toma. I'm calling it. If I'm wrong, well, you can bully me for it, but I would not be surprised, okay? The new enemies. Now, these are the ones that I'm terrified of. I thought the specters were bad, and they are. They're fucking horrible. But these things, they float. So I can assume that they float in the same way that the specters do. And the way the specters float is already cancerous. So, what I'm expecting is for these to be the worst enemies in the game. And not only because they float, but also because, let me give you a better angle here. Right here, it says it applies the corrosion status. And that would be fine if it didn't apply it through shields. When a character protected by a shield is hit, the corrosion status will also be applied. That's not going to be fun. Corrosion is hard to deal with as it is in the Abyss. But these things, just in the open world, they're gonna be pretty cancerous, I reckon. And it's not even just that. They also have this feature that I didn't know about this one. When you hit them with their corresponding element, they buff themselves and they get a resistance to that element and they probably do more damage. So these things, I'm either like overhyping these insanely and I'm making it out to be like the end of the world when it really isn't. They're either going to be the worst enemies in the game or they're just going to be another enemy and they're not going to be that bad. But judging from how tanky enemies in Inazuma have been so far, this thing is going to be cancerous to fight for a lot of people. I know there are people who have just teams that could destroy everything, but like, you know. Moving on to the last topic of this video, the dev notes. Now, these came out like 20 hours ago, it says, right here. So, let's analyze each of these quote-unquote Q&As and see how much of these answers are actually going to help. Is there any way to obtain gadgets from the events I've missed? Apparently so. They're going to be able to get the funny balloon, the lyre, and the harpastum from the events that have happened in the past. I think 2 of those were from the Windbloom Festival, and the other one was from Golden Apple Archipelago. I don't see the reason why they're doing this, specifically because no one uses the harpastum. No one uses the commemorative balloon. People only ever use the lyre, and that is rarely. Also, from what I saw in the 2.2 livestream, we're going to be getting a small, like, ukulele item that is probably going to function the exact same way as the lyre. So there's no point in bringing any of these back. Not only that, but it's giving people even more reason to miss out on events, to not play the game, to get exclusive items, because they won't be exclusive anymore. Anyway, moving on. Zhongli Shield, okay, this is a mobile problem. This is affecting a pretty small minority of players, I would say, because who the fuck has Zhongli and Ganyu and still plays on mobile? Like, seriously. You don't wail if you're a mobile player. That's just the law. But I guess this does help a little bit. So good on you, miHoYo. Okay, next one. Controller for PS5 does not work very well on PC. I get that they're fixing it and that's cool, but there are not many people who are going to be using a PS5 controller to play on PC. But I guess this is a very small minority of people that are getting some assistance. So good on you, miHoYo. Inazuma transport commissions take too long. Not just Inazuma's, just all of them. All of the transport commissions take too long. Increasing the HP does nothing. The movement speed, however, that's pretty good. It helps to speed up the 5 minutes of gameplay that we get every day, us endgame players. So yeah, that'll be nice. Raiden Shogun's elemental skill, Chakra Desiderata, is too bright if you look at it for too long. What? For those of you who don't know, I am an A main. I have never thought this thought once. Who is complaining about this? Who? Literally who? Who is complaining about this? No one. No one is. And why the fuck do they feel the need to fix something that isn't fucking broken? Alright, moving on. This next one I think is actually really fucking cool. Travelers can select hangout memories according to their preferences and display in their realms. If it's just hangout events that you can put in a picture frame and put on your wall, that's fine. That's still really cool, because then I can have a picture of me and Bennett in my room. And who doesn't want a picture of themselves and Bennett in their room? But if they make it so that you can take in-game photos of like environments that you take and you can put it in the teapot, that would be so fucking sick. And as I said before, there are a lot of people that don't care about the Serenity teapot, but I do, and I really like this addition. Also, furnishings that play music. That's going to be cool. It'd be cool if we could just set the music for the teapot. This here is also a very good quality of life thing. Being able to see the enemies you're fighting when you're setting up your parties. I've had this problem, so this will be really nice when they eventually add it. Is it possible to store my default team after exiting co-op mode? This is another quality of life thing, but honestly, it's not that much of a problem, because all you have to do is spend like 2 seconds switching your party. So it's not really something that was ever worth complaining about, if anyone did complain about it. Anyway, that seems to be it. Yes. There is one more thing I'd like to say to you, miHoYo. Now, some of these are great. Some of these are useless. And the ones that are useless are kind of pissing me off. Some of these are just wasted effort. And I have a few notes here in my... You hear that little notepad flapping? I have a few notes here that I'd like to share with you. Fix Xinyan's E. That's the first one. It is crazy to me that a billion-dollar company is going to make Xinyan one of the focal points of the next update, and they still haven't fixed her E. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you can look it up. But they really need to fix that. And I get that no one uses her anyway, but like, at least just make it so that she works. Because who knows, if they fixed it, maybe she's a little good after they fix it. Maybe they can buff her as well, that'd be nice. But if you do ever want to buff Xinyan, you gotta fix her E first, miHoYo. Next, Monika and Ayaka's dash. I remember seeing the 2.0 patch notes and seeing that they have made modifications to Mona's dash so that it quote-unquote works. And then I remember going into the game, equipping Mona, and seeing that nothing had changed. I don't know what they did to try and fix Mona's dash, but it didn't fucking work. It can be one of the jankiest, glitchiest, just weirdest fucking things in the entire game. It is so weird. And Ayaka has it as well. But the thing is though, is that neither of them really need it. I get that it's a really fast sprint and it can go over water and shit. But like when it comes to like in battle, it is so annoying getting stuck on terrain like every time I use the character. It's one of the reasons I stopped using my Mona, and I fucking love Mona. My next point. Fix Yoimiya. Holy shit. Her ICD, the fact that she doesn't snapshot. Why, miHoYo? Why does she have internal functions that are different from almost every other character in the game? If you made it so that she was functional, she would be an incredible DPS. There's also the fact that her burst doesn't really help her kit at all. They also need to fix auto-targeting with bow characters so that we don't miss like half our shots when using bow characters. And if they fix that, they can make other bow DPS characters that just use auto attacks, like Yoimiya. They can make those kind of characters so much better. So yeah, fix Yoimiya and bow characters. Next point. Kujo-Sara. Kujo-Sara is useless. Alright, let me explain. We have Bennett, our gracious god savior Bennett, for only 6-star in the game. And then we have Kujo-Sara, as far as I'm concerned, the only other attack buffer in the entire game. Bennett gives better attack buffs than Sara. That just does not make sense to me. You'd think that because Kujo-Sara can't heal, that her attack buffs would be better than Bennett's, but they're not. Also, I've heard from people that have used her that her rotation is kind of janky, and if you don't have, what was it, C2? And having to do the full stretch of the bow to shoot down the thing when you use your E, I've heard that's kind of AIDS. So, maybe just buff her attack bonus. Because right now, no one has any reason to use her unless she's C6. Next point. The interaction between the Raiden Shogun and Beidou. I get that if you think about the wording extraordinarily specifically, it checks out. But really, it shouldn't. Even if the wording does check out, it really shouldn't. Like, miHoYo, I don't fucking care if you were in the right this whole time, just give it to us. It'd be so cool, and it would give Raiden Shogun, like, a bit more variety in her team comps, which is a piece of her kit that she really fucking needs. Because right now, she plays a very specific and niche role in any party. So it'd be really great if you could just make her work with Beto. Next point. Buff Amber. And I know that's what everyone says, but it's not just Amber. There's Amber, there's Chi-Chi. I guess Lisa might need a little bit of a buff. There's plenty of characters that are completely useless right now in the meta. And no one is allowed to play their favorite character because their favorite character is shit. And it sucks, because I would love to play Amber, but she's so bad. So buff a few characters maybe, Sinyan included. Next point. Give us some actual fucking content. Instead of having all of your endgame content be like the Abyss that resets every like month. Not every month, but you get the idea. Some events that we can do in like less than a minute and 5 minutes of commission content. Instead of giving us that, give us that, but give us a few more things, like bringing back some of the old events. Bring back a wind race. People have been asking for that. I wouldn't mind it. I never actually really got to play the event. I only played it like twice. Here's two combat-related ideas that I thought of that I thought would be really cool. A co-op Abyss and an endless Abyss. Now, just by saying those, you already know exactly what I'm talking about. Co-op Abyss is a special, not the default Abyss, but I'm talking about a separate Abyss that is exclusively for playing in co-op. I think that'd be really fun. And if you made it really hard, that would be even funner. There could also be a lot of content that could come out of that for like streamers and shit. Like 4 fucking streamers come together and they do the co-op Abyss together. It's the greatest Genshin collab of all time. Please do it. And the Endless Abyss is exactly what it sounds like. It's just you get enemies thrown at you over and over, and the longer you last, the better rewards you get. It'd also be really good as a punching bag, the Endless Abyss, because you have all the time you want to nail your rotations, see how much damage you can do. So not only would it be a really good endgame content thing, but it would also be a really good punching bag. So yeah, that's what I recommend. That was me putting down the notepad. Yeah, those are the points that I have. So thank you for coming to my TED Talk. And I'll see you in day 7 Ride and Shogun Grind. Unless I make a video before then. Until then, see ya.